Hi guys, it's Amy with Name to Plan, and today I am setting up a brand new cover. So I recorded my daily plan with me, and in that video I made a comment that I would maybe take notes about my new game, The Legend of Zelda, coming out tomorrow, and I would just take notes in my planner, but I thought that didn't really make sense. I really wanted to want to have a place to take notes and just keep it separate from my actual planner. And so what I decided to do was design a new cover for this new notebook that I'm putting together. I did decide to keep it not like Legend of Zelda specific. You can see here it says all fun and games with a little ampersand sign. And one of the things that I'm going to try to do in the next couple of months is convert some of my home binder into like a new look. And so I want to be able to create this design that's very similar to the chalkboard design that you see with some of the covers. Let me bring one and show it to you. So it's like this design right here. This one is one of the guided journals from the Happy Planner, and it has like that chalk marker look to it. This one says Faith Over Fear, and I just really love the simplicity of it, the look of it. Obviously, it's just like this chalk marker look with like just a plain color in the background, and so I designed mine to look very similar to that. Of course, the font isn't exactly the same, but I think it's kind of close. You know, I think I did a good job, right? And so I did design this in Canva. What I did in the video, I think I'll post like a time lapse. If I don't, then this part will be edited out. But what I ended up doing was on Canva, pulling in an image that was like a copy of the logo for Tears of the Kingdom, The Legend of Zelda, and I pulled out this particular color in that little section, one of the colors there, and use that as the background color. And then I picked a font that I think mimicked the chalk marker font from the Happy Planner really well. And so that one is Gelato. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it looks a little bit like gelato, but with an I in it. So anyway, I'll post it here so you can kind of see it, and I'll also link it in the description, the name of the font, so that we can use it. Again, it was in Canva. I can't remember if it was a free font or a paid font, but I do have the professional version of Canva to be able to do this. And so I did print it out like that. Again, I think I'll have a little time lapse here so you can see that, but if I don't have that footage in here, this will be a very short video. But anyway, what I'm going to do now is cut this down so that way I can laminate it. So I have my laminator set off to the side here. You might be able to hear the humming of it in the background. So all I need to do is basically take this Happy Planner, the cover. Oh, I forgot my ruler too. Oh, here it is. My ruler, and just kind of measure it so that way I can know what to cut this one down to. So I'm going to use the inches. What I'm going to measure is going to be just like the not the laminated part, but just the like the blue part, if hopefully that makes sense. So I'm going to measure from the blue section to the blue section, and it's exactly at 7.5 this way, and then this way it is, let's see, 9.5. Okay, so 7.5 and 9.5, and so that's what I need to cut it down to. And so I brought out my paper trimmer right here. I'm going to start off by, I did print it out as, you know, as big as I thought I needed it to be, but I might cut off some of the words, which is totally fine because I feel like some of the words here, they run off the page, right? So again, hopefully the glare isn't like too distracting for you, but it does run off the page a little bit. It's not exactly the same, like, because those are like squiggles, like, what are they called? Like the flourishes. Lost my words there for a second. Oh my gosh, I cut that really close. Ooh, okay, hopefully that wasn't too much. And so then this side needs to be 7.5. All right, and not too worried about like cutting it off. Like I said, this one didn't actually cut off, so that's pretty good. One of the things that you'll notice with the way that I printed it is you can see the lines from my printer, which is kind of annoying. Let me just be honest about that. But it's also a DIY project, so you know, you will survive, right? I will survive. Right, so then 9.5 for this side. All right, which is going to be not enough, so I need to cut off more from the top here. 9.5. Okay, again, not in, what is, this is definitely not going to be. This is not 9.5, right? All right, that's a total mess up. Okay, so I'm gonna have to record this whole video all over again. All right, be back. Okay, I realized the issue was that I cut off too much from the top, so I just printed out another version of it, and you can hear my printer running on this side. I need to at some point record my craft room tour, but I'm printing it out right now, and we're going to get it all cut up and nice and neat. Okay, and this time I will do my best not to mess it up. So let's try again. This time I'm going to focus just on cutting just like bare minimum, all right? And then after that I will trim. Okay. Cut that down. All right, again, bare minimum here. I'm lining it up with the cut marks here. I did set it to be 10 inches. Oh, it's still incorrect. It's still incorrect. I'm not quite sure why that is. That makes me so mad. Okay, I'm just going to have to work with it. That's so annoying. It makes me so mad. Okay, well, I'm just gonna go with it. It's a DIY project. We will survive. I can't just keep printing it out over and over and over again. Oh, I hate it. I'm so sad. Okay, I feel like I could just like add a little piece here. So we're going to like just finagle a little piece here. I don't know why. Like, I checked my settings on Canva and everything, and it was set to 10 inches. So I just don't know why there was extra space. I just don't know. All right, it makes me mad. It really does. But let me grab some tape so I can tape this down. All right. Okay, and now I will trim it to 9.5. It's going to have this weird bump, but I think that's going to be better than, you know, having the white in my mind. All right, so I'm trying to decide which side I want it. I'm going to cut it from the side. All right, and we'll trim this side. Okay, so again, it will have this bump when I laminate it, but I think it's okay. Now, one thing that will work, I don't know, I'll just leave it like that. Okay, so one thing that I do have is my laminating pouch. This is for 10 mil, and so my laminator does do 10 mil. I absolutely love my laminator. Oh, I need to round the edges here. Let me grab a pair of scissors. I'm going to do this by hand, just because, and I'm going to use the laminating pouch here and just kind of round the corners here. This is my little trick. I broke my corner rounder at some point, and so I haven't yet replaced it. So anyway, I just kind of offset it just slightly. Hopefully you can see this, but I offset it just slightly, and then I'm just able to round it. I just do my thing with rounding it to the best of my ability. And that's pretty much it, you know. I really need to figure out what's wrong with my computer, why it didn't print out at the exact size that I needed. Yeah, I'm just not sure. Normally, I don't have issues with making covers, but today I'm having all sorts of problems. So hopefully I'll be able to figure that out. But good news, silver lining here is with all of the fumbles, I'm able to let my laminator heat up in time. It should be ready. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is stick it in here. Alright, I want it as close to the top as possible so that way I just don't have to like trim one edge. And then we'll leave this side as well, and then we're going to run it through the laminator. And we'll be back. Okay. Got to rush this a little bit because the baby is crying. I also had to kind of cut the film, this recording, because I had to pick up Sophia. So Let's fast forward through this part. You can see how slowly it goes through my machine. Go, go, gadgets. Okay, so I had to go grab Rosie. Hopefully she won't be quite so loud in the video, but this is my laminated cover. Let me turn this off. Get this to the side. And one thing I want to do now is just check it to see how much of a margin I need here. And I need, it's basically like a 1/4 of an inch all the way around. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to trim it around to where it's a 1/4 of an inch all the way around. That looks pretty good. It doesn't have to be perfect in my mind, just close enough. It's a DIY project, so close enough is always better than not done at all. You know, of course, perfect is nice, but it's something I think unachievable. So what I'm going to do is use the markings here. These two sides looked close enough to me. Again, like, it doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be good enough, right? And so what I'm going to do is line this up with, let me see which line I need to mark it up with. All right, I think I need to line it up with this line right here. I don't know if you can see that, but it will be this line up here. To where this line basically is lined up with the paper. So that's kind of how I'm doing it. It's kind of hard to see it with the angle that I'm at, but hopefully that's correct, right? And then I'm just going to use my paper trimmer, cut it down. I like to run it back and forth a couple of times just because the lamination is a little bit thicker, right? That looks pretty good to me. So I'll do the same thing here, line this up to that line, cut right through. Okay, and then the last thing I need to do is unsharpen the edges, round these edges out, and I'll do the same thing here. Offset with the laminated part, one of the corners that got cut off, and we will use my scissors to trim around it. Right, and I learned a trick from some commenters in a previous video that you can use a nail file to sharpen, to like smooth out the edges. So definitely might do that. Definitely might. So like paradoxical. Anyway, I will do that if I need to smooth out these edges. Like this corner is just a little bit rough, you know. Hopefully I'm still in frame. Like, it's hard to do this with a baby. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And you can see, like, this was the extra little piece that I added on there, but to be honest, it doesn't look too bad. I think it's okay. All right. And then the very last step is to punch the holes. So I'm going to use this front cover to be able to do that. And just to kind of show you, like, look at that. Does that look good? It looks really good together. So yeah. Oh, so excited. Okay, so what I do is just line these up together like this. And I brought in my crocodile. So this is the We Are Memory Keepers crocodile, which I love using this. This is like the best tool to punch through like thicker material. I just love it. All right, so I always like to use it for the very first one. And so there's like a little mark right on top here, and I use that to line up with the stem. That way I can know where that first punch goes. Just like that. And then after the first punch, I can just use the guide, so I don't need the cover anymore. Just line it up and go in here. Sometimes when I punch it like this, I have to go back in afterwards and widen the stem a little bit, just because like I mispunched it or, you know, something like that. So I think that's totally fine. You know, it's just a little bit of an extra step sometimes that's needed. Alright, and I do have to clean it up a little bit. I need to sharpen my crocodile. It's getting to the point where there's like a couple of pieces extra that are coming out. Just that one. Let me flip it to the side. There's like a couple of extra pieces that I need to trim down. Hope it make turn a little smoother if I can cut down these edges or like these like little leftover bits. And since it's DIY, you can see I didn't print anything on the back. I think I'm going to use this just to kind of, I might use it for like dry erase and just use a dry erase marker and just write notes to myself. Or I might, since this is going to be like my new fun/games notebook, I will maybe like get stickers related to some of my favorite video games and just other fun activities and just kind of use it as a collage here. So that's the thought here, right? And so that is what we've got, right? And that's what we've got set up. This video ended up being quite like really long just because of all the fumbles that I had, plus like the turning on and off just to take care of the kids. So I'm gonna pause here. There might be a part 2 that I'll post later on with me setting it up, but for the time being this will be just what I've got, just making this cover. So hopefully this video gave you an idea of like how easy it is, this process is, to put together your own covers. I really think it's super easy to do, and I think it looks close-ish. I mean, I wouldn't say it's exactly the same, but it looks close enough that I would consider it like coordinated. So I really like that. Again, sorry for the glare. But yeah, so hopefully you are able to make your own covers now, and I'll link all my supplies so that way you can have a list of all the things that I used to make this cover in the description, so you can have all that information. And so in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel, and until the next video, bye guys.